Young billionaire kicks a cardboard box on the sidewalk, but when he hears a voice from inside, he panics. Noah Larkson pushed the revolving door of the corporate building as if he were running from something. The freezing December wind cut his face instantly, but he didn't even notice. He was used to the cold, both outside and within. The meeting had been a disaster. 4 hours of useless discussions, executives bickering over trifles, decisions that could have been made in 10 minutes. Noah left with a pounding headache in his temples and a desire to break something. The entire day had been like that. Problems piled on problems, incompetent people, contracts gone wrong. He was 29 with more money than he could count, but sometimes he felt like he was living someone else's life, an empty, meaningless life where nothing truly mattered. Walking through the streets of Manhattan, Noah felt the day's stress weighing on his shoulders. The cold wind bit at his face, but he didn't care. He was angry at work, angry at people, angry at himself. That's when he saw the box. It was tossed on the sidewalk, leaning against a trash can. Brown cardboard, wet from the rain. More rubbish in an already littered city, as if the world wasn't messy enough. The day's frustration exploded all at once. Noah stopped, looked at the box as if it were to blame for all his problems, and gave it a hard kick. The sound that came from inside was not what he expected. It wasn't the sound of old papers or empty cans. It was different, softer, as if something had stirred inside. Noah stood still, watching. The box was quiet again, but he was sure of what he'd heard. Something alive. Must be a cat, he thought, or a rat, or any animal that lived on the streets. He took another step to move away, but stopped again. The sound came back, quieter this time, almost like a whimper. He looked around. The street was empty, only a few lit windows, cars passing far away, the constant hum of the city. No one else had heard. Noah crouched down slowly. The box was closed, but loosely. The top flaps were folded over each other, no tape, no glue, easy to open. He hesitated. It wasn't his problem. He didn't meddle in other people's lives, and they didn't meddle in his. That's how it worked. That's how it had always worked. But his hands were already moving. When he opened the box, the world stopped. Inside was a child. A small girl, curled up in a fetal position, wearing clothes that had once been white but were now grey with dirt. Her brown hair matted to her face, her thin arms wrapped around her own body. She was trembling. Even unconscious, she was trembling. Noah knelt on the sidewalk, staring in disbelief. The girl couldn't have been more than 4 years old. Maybe 5. It was impossible to be sure with her like that, so small, so fragile. "What the hell?" he whispered. He carefully touched her face. Her skin was freezing. Too cold. Her lips were bluish, and he could see her breath coming out in small white clouds. For a second, Noah thought about calling the police, or an ambulance, or both. Someone who knew what to do. Someone who was trained for this, but she stirred. It was just a small movement, almost imperceptible. Her head turned slightly to the side, as if looking for a more comfortable position. And Noah saw that she was waking up. He had no time to think, no time to plan, no time to do the right thing or the wrong thing. He simply picked her up. The girl weighed almost nothing. It was like carrying an injured bird. Noah wrapped her in his own coat, feeling how cold she was, how her body fit against his chest in a way that made something strange happen in his stomach. Urgency. For the first time in his life, Noah Larkson felt real urgency. Not the false urgency of business, deadlines, important meetings. This was different. It was physical. It was necessary. He started to run. The streets of Manhattan blurred into a sequence of lights. Cars, people, traffic lights. Everything became one as Noah ran with the girl in his arms. His lungs burned, his heart pounded uncontrollably, but he didn't stop. The nearest hospital was 8 blocks away. Noah knew because he'd passed it millions of times, always by car, always looking over it. Now he was running towards it as if someone's life depended on it. And it did. The girl stirred again halfway there. This time she opened her eyes, large, dark, confused. She looked at him without understanding, without fear, just looked. "It's okay," Noah said, not knowing if it was true. "I'm going to help you." She closed her eyes again. St. Mary's Hospital was crowded even at that hour of the night. Fluorescent lights, the smell of disinfectant, people hurrying back and forth with the organized haste of those who work saving lives. Noah ran in, still carrying the girl. "I need help," he shouted at the receptionist. "I found her on the street. She's very cold, I think." He didn't need to finish. A nurse appeared out of nowhere, saw the situation, and immediately called other professionals. In seconds, the girl was on a stretcher being wheeled inside. Someone put an oxygen mask on her face. Someone checked her vital signs. Someone shouted numbers Noah didn't understand. He stood in the hallway, watching everything happen through a glass door. His arms were still in the position of someone carrying something, even empty. "Sir?" Noah turned. It was a young nurse, with blonde hair pulled back in a ponytail. "I need some information about the child. Her name, age, who her parents are." "I don't know." The nurse blinked. "What do you mean you don't know? I found her in a box, on the street. I don't know who she is." The nurse's expression changed. Noah saw compassion, concern, and something that looked like suspicion. "You found her in a box?" "Yes. I was walking and heard a noise. When I opened it, she was there." "And you brought her here?" It wasn't a question. It was an observation, as if the nurse was trying to figure out if Noah was telling the truth or making up some wild story. "Yes, she was unconscious and very cold." The nurse made some notes on a clipboard. "I'll need your name and contact information for the report." Noah gave the details automatically. Name, address, phone number, things he said so many times a day that they came out without thinking. "You can wait in the waiting room. As soon as we have more information about her condition, someone will speak with you." "How is she?" The question came out before Noah could control himself. The nurse looked at him differently, more gently. "The doctors are examining her now. It appears to be hypothermia and malnutrition."